Welcome to Nerdschatting, movie, TV, comic chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome everybody to the Nerdschatting podcast. My name is Nathan, and with me, as ever, is my very good friend Ben, and the more regular than not regular, irregular JB is here. Hello.
Hello, guys.
Jimmy Bingers.
Hiya.
We are the Nerds Chatting. We chat about movies and TV shows and comic books, and we saw Ready Player One. I saw it separately to you two. You two saw it together because you want to hold hands and stuff and touch each other.
And we like to do things together.
Yeah, I don't like either of you, so
No.
that suits me. Yeah.
Even though you just said my good friends at the
Yeah.
start. Okay, this has got awkward again.
Somewhere I'm lying. Somewhere. So we saw Ready Player One. We'll be talking about that later on. We're reviewing that. But before that, I should probably say something about MyOhMy Design. Ben, do you know anything about MyOhMy Design?
Nothing at all. Tell me about them, Nate.
Oh, I was hoping you'd tell me.
I can tell you that I've put a link in the episode description to myohmydesign.co.uk, and it will tell you that the site is currently being reconstructed and being refreshed.
What did I go to MyOhMy Design for?
I'll
just put my teeth back in.
MyOhMy Design if you were looking for some kind of graphical design work for a t-shirt or a website or a podcast logo.
Why would I go to MyOhMy Design?
Because the guy is absolutely amazing. He's a friend of ours on Twitter. He's a guy called Matt Young. He is incredible. He's very friendly. He's a bit of a geeky nerd like we are, although we're nerds, basically, whatever. He is a wonderful, wonderful human being. And he's also read something that I read this week, which we'll talk about in Nerdscene.
He's got like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and
all that. Email address is on there as well. He's very active on Twitter.
He's interactive, isn't he? He's very good. So we've used him and
abused him.
And we're very happy with what we got.
Okay. Wow. I'm not that type of person here, am I? Where I'm an regular type of being used guy?
I think if you have to come on this podcast at least 2 more times this month, we're going to have to talk about getting you a face design done by...
God, how exciting would that be?
By MyOhMy Design, Matt Young. It's going to cost you though. You've got to pay for it.
How much? What sort are we talking about?
It's very good rates.
It's very good, very reasonable rates as well.
Does that mean I get on the t-shirts as well?
Yeah.
Oh, facing lights. So excited.
I'm not happy about that.
So shall we talk about some broken news?
Let's do it.
Broken news.
So this is broken news. It's news that's so old it's no longer breaking, it's already broken. There's hardly any news this week. There was hardly any news last week. But I'll tell you why there's hardly any news this week. Because it was April the 1st and all the news stories were April Fools. And I'm not putting them on here. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you hate April Fools?
I hate April Fools because I just want to read the geeky, nerdy news. I don't want to read like, Joss Whedon said this about. And I don't care. It's not true.
Can I just say something that is completely unrelated to films or anything? But there was a French mayor tweeted or did something about that in their town, IKEA was going to come to town and create 4,000 jobs, and it went down like a lead balloon.
Oh my gosh, you can't do that.
No, see, I think that people have taken it to dick move levels now, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Because there are blogs and podcasts and websites that sort of grab onto this news and get excited about it because they forget that it's April the 1st. They forget that different people are in different time zones. Like Mr. Sunday Movies was doing April Fools when it was still the 31st of March? Yeah, 31st of March, right? Because he's 12 hours ahead.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, fuck you. Nah, April Fools, mate. You know what I mean? It's just like, that was funny, but some of the stuff that I saw where people were genuinely trying to fool fans who are passionate about things, it's going too far. It's going too far.
Gets them too excited.
Yeah,
I've had enough. And then brings them down. Yeah.
Anyone who played an April Fool's prank on a fan of their show or website or product, whatever it is,
It's like
you're a bit of a dick.
It's become like acceptable. It used to be like a jerk thing that people would do in the office. Gotcha, and it's always just before midday. That's the rule. If you do it after midday, it's not an April Fool. It's just you being an absolute dick.
Yes.
And now it's just suddenly become acceptable
on a global scale.
Yeah. Now like corporations can do it. Like what?
I don't like it.
Anyway,
I don't like it.
I've talked about April Fools
God,
now.
get off
enough.
our soapboxes, shall we? Jesus.
Anyway, have you heard about the Avengers channel?
I have.
Jimmy Bingers told us about this, didn't he?
I actually found it the other day.
I did as well.
I didn't actually realise what it was.
No.
So tell us what it is.
So from what I get, I was doing something like Ben, flicking through my channels, and all of a sudden I was like, there's an Avengers channel. What's this? So I had to look into it. It's basically a Disney channel that has been just showing all of the Avengers cartoons.
Yeah. Marvel's
Like
Avengers.
24 hours a day.
Avengers Assemble, is it called? Or?
I think so, yeah.
It seems to be all of them. So it's just for this month up until I think there's a film coming
It's
out.
a little tiny little
indie film
film,
coming
yeah,
out
yeah.
called
But I don't think-
Infinity Warra.
Yeah.
That's how I understand it's said. It's a French film, you probably understand.
Yeah, should have come from Pat.
That was very good. Sorry, what were we talking about?
But, but this looks good. If I can find some time, I'm going to watch a couple of these cartoons because we know cartoons are just not for kids.
So it's every episode of Marvel's Avengers Assemble. It's a whole series of Marvel's video comics shorts, so they're being premiered on there, and Marvel's superhero adventure shorts. But they've also created 4 new Marvel Funko animated shorts. So Funkos are the little pop vinyl type things that you can get with the big heads. So they've obviously created characters from that. And it's the Avengers Assemble thing, and they're going to be showing Infinity War content. It's basically hype machine for the kiddies.
I actually think it's some people could say it's too corporate and it's this, that, and the other. I actually think it's very clever on Marvel's behalf. Because what they've done is they're taking people who are hyped for the film anyway, who might not have a grounding in the comics, and giving them extra content. So you said there's comic stuff on there. There's also this cartoon on there as well.
Yeah.
Now,
Toys and merch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sell some stuff.
Yeah. One of these cartoons as well, one of the Avengers Assemble cartoons, which you quite rightly said, James, they're not just for kids, will have, and it's probably people have seen it on YouTube, it will have an episode where the Avengers go up against Thanos in space.
Yeah. Because I think it's an ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's
I
like...
don't know enough about it, but it probably is.
It's Monster of the Week, but there's stories that go on.
Did you guys check out that link that I sent you around the Hulk going mental and Thor's axe?
Yes, but I think that was from Planet Hulk? No, because that's got Beta Ray Bill in it.
Yeah, Iron Man was there, and there was a really tall superhero. I didn't know who that was, but I thought it looked
Giant
amazing.
Man, probably?
Is that what he is?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'll back myself and say yes.
Was it a black guy?
Yeah.
He's Bill Foster is Giant Man.
Yeah.
He's going to be Ant-Man too. Oh, that's a big point. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Is
he?
Yeah.
Bill Foster's in that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lawrence Fishburne?
Yes.
Burn.
Yes.
Thorn.
Second one, not the third.
I always say it wrong. It's one of those.
First one.
It's one of those ones I've got like a block. Lawrence Fishburne,
Well,
born.
he used to be Larry, didn't he?
Yeah,
Larry Fishburne.
that doesn't help.
Did he?
It doesn't help he was in Apocalypse Now as Larry Fishburne, born.
Yeah.
When did he change his name? Was that after?
About mid-90s, I think.
Was that Matrix?
I think.
Was he in Matrix?
He was in Matrix, yeah.
I think he changed his name.
Morpheus.
I'm going to be
Yes.
wrong about this. I think he changed his name when he starred as Ike Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It, opposite Angela Bassett playing Tina Turner.
What?
Because it was a more, it was quite a serious role, and he played a fictional version of an actual man who was not a very nice man.
No.
Allegedly. And yeah.
Are we
I
saying
think
that Larry's not a
think
a
Larry
serious
became
name?
Lawrence
No.
around then.
Larry's not. Just who names their kids Larry?
What has love got to do with it?
I don't know, but what's love but a special kind of emotion? That's not the right
No,
word.
Very good.
Yeah,
You're
close.
putting Ben on it a little bit
I
today.
think
But
we
what I
might
will
have
say to
spun
you-
out of the story
Yeah,
a little
come
bit.
back.
Yeah.
Because who needs a heart when a heart has emotion? Thank you.
Right, so this Marvel's
What was the
Avengers,
story again?
the Marvel's Avengers channel is on Sky Channel 608 and Virgin Channel 708, and we're running from the 1st of April to the 29th of April on Sky and Virgin, and it seems like a cool ploy, and I'm all for it.
The Marvel machine is in full hype mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going on to
That-
DEFCON 2.
Well, that's one of the other
Damn
things.
right.
Yeah, one of the other things I was going to say about news, why we've not got much news, is because most of the news, if you go through like the, like comic book movie or CBR or any of those sort of websites, if you look through them, it's all just like, and this Avengers Infinity War thing, and this Avengers Infinity
And
War
I don't
thing,
wanna know any
and
of
I'm
that.
kind of
Yeah,
avoiding it.
I don't
But
wanna know any of that.
there's like high res stills, there's extra TV spots. Hello.
Just to say that last night when I was going through, I found a Infinity War trailer that was based on the cartoon.
Oh,
And they
amazing.
had And I didn't, because you guys didn't want to know about it, I didn't forward it on.
Oh, you're thoughtful, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I've seen this actually though before. I think it came out just out. Is it based on the first trailer that we saw?
I
The
thought it was
second
the second one,
one?
but
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So is it like cut together from the
Yeah.
cartoon? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They do that. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
It's
One
all
thing
right.
I will say, a sample of that news story that's all Infinity War related, is that some guy, we got shared from Tim, some guy,
I thought you were going to say Tim was the some guy. Some guy?
I don't know who it was, some guy,
We love you,
some girl,
Tim.
whomever, someone who's hyped for Avengers movies, tweeted the Russo brothers and said, I can't remember what the exact question was, but it was something like, the Avengers 4 title, and what's it going to mean, and it's going to have, is it going to scare like the fans of the movies about what the title's going to be? I think the Russos just took that one tweet to reply to and went, yeah, the title of Avengers 4 should scare fans, basically. But what that means, James, is not news, it's pure speculation.
Oh,
we could sit here all day and speculate what that title's going to be and not get close.
We did talk briefly about this yesterday. I think it's going to be Secret Wars because there have been Secret War comics as tie-ins in the comics many times, and the most recent Secret Wars was a big universe-changing event.
Yeah.
And Secret Invasion was when the Skrulls came along, and I think and we know the Skrulls are going to be in Captain Marvel, and she's going to be at the end of Infinity War. It's all coming together, so there's likely to be mind your knuckles.
Yeah, so
there's likely to be I was a Skrull all along anyway, Secret Invasion style event, but also a universe changing event, so it makes sense to call it Secret Wars. I would be very surprised if it wasn't Avengers Secret Wars.
I was going to say exactly what Nate just said. Detail for detail.
Lies. Next news story? Or do you
yeah,
want more?
let's do it.
No, okay. So there's a rumour about the new Venom film.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so James, we've talked
We know
about
about
Venom a
Venom,
lot.
yeah. The Venom non-Venom film.
Yeah, the
Well,
Venom non-Venom film. Yeah, we don't know.
we'll see.
Look,
Yeah.
no one knows anything about it apart from the fact that it's being made by Sony and their marketing department is terrible.
And nothing else matters,
There
potentially.
have been rumours that a different symbiote will be in it as well, which basically means Carnage because he's the sort of like split off from
Offspring of
Offspring.
Venom.
Yeah, there
I
are
didn't
other
know
ones.
that.
There are a whole other bunch of other ones as well.
there?
Yeah. There were there's like 5 or 6 of them,
Yeah,
and I think they're all.
They've
that's
all
what-
got names that sound a bit deadly.
But that's when Venom becomes an anti-hero because he fights against them.
Oh.
And so he sort of has a redemption a little bit. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
So not only do we know not only is it rumoured that there will be an extra symbiote in the Venom film, it's also been suggested that Woody Harrelson is in an unnamed role in the Venom film. So people have put this together, and Bleeding Cool are reporting that Woody Harrelson is going to be playing Cletus Cassidy, who is a psychopath who has the Carnage symbiote on him.
So the alien symbiote will enhance any emotions that you have.
Right, okay.
So Eddie Brock in the comic books and in the cartoon Spider-Man from '94, what have you,
Yeah.
didn't really like Peter Parker. So when he bonded with the alien symbiote that Spider-Man rejected, it basically led to the symbiote Venom hating Peter Parker. Spider-Man wants to kill him.
Well, the symbiote already hates him as well as a little
Because he
bit.
rejected him.
That's why they work
Yeah,
so well
okay.
together because he
Yeah,
rejected
that's
him. Yeah.
Now, the symbiote isn't exactly. Well, we don't ever really know what the symbiote is. In Guardians of the Galaxy, people have said, "Do you actually know what you're wearing?" To Flash Thompson, who's now got the Venom alien symbiote on him, because no one really knows what it is. They've never really said. The impression is it's something that's not very nice, and you didn't really want having
Like a
contact
Veruca
with
or
you.
something.
Yeah, like a Veruca, just like a Veruca. I
It's
love
an
it.
alien Veruca.
I love it. If there's people listening, like, what the hell is a Veruca? Like, just Google it. You're fine. Yeah.
But anyway, Cletus Cassidy is a serial killer. He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's not a nice person. So the alien symbiote that offsprings from Venom joins with Cletus Cassidy. He becomes a pretty bad guy, if memory serves me correctly. And he names himself Carnage because he's going to go out there
And create-
just create as much carnage as he can.
I think I remember the first time I read a panel with Carnage in it. It's a pretty poor line. I can't remember who wrote it, but he breaks into some person's house. I think it's an elderly person, and he just starts like cutting them up and stuff.
Ooh.
And he just says like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you," and they're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because I can." And that's it. He just goes around just because he's suddenly got this power where he can like make knives out of his hands and things. And
the symbiote's always sort of like feathering out of him. Like he's got control of it, but it's also like it's uncontrollable as well. It's pretty good. I'll tell you what, there have been some pretty nice Carnage sort of like create your own model sort of things that you can
Play-Doh?
Some ideas of Carnage.
Not Play-Doh, no.
So he's kind of like this. He's kind of like Venom, but like red.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know?
And nasty.
Yeah.
He does got nasty teeth.
Yeah.
Need to see
So
a
what do
dentist,
we
but-
think about Woody Harrelson playing Carnage?
Confirmed? Rumour.
Yeah. Do you like Woody Harrelson?
He was awesome in White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He was pretty great in Cheers.
Yes, he was.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess, yes,
You
he
raised
was.
me
Thank
from
you.
1994
Yeah.
to 1986.
I'm going to bring it
Love
up
Cheers.
today.
I love
very
Cheers.
much liked him as the Colonel guy in War from the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I need to see
Yeah,
that
it's
soon.
good. Yeah, you'll like that. It's
He
good.
played
Yeah.
a very convincing bad guy, but with a purpose. Like he believed in what he was doing.
He was playing Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I knew that from the trailer.
Yeah.
So small amount.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that Woody Harrelson's put a foot wrong with some of the roles he's taken recently. I don't know if anyone's ever seen True Detective.
Yeah, loved
Yeah, it
it.
was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
He did it. He smashed that actually.
Yeah.
That was his reconnaissance, wasn't it? As in
Yes, it was,
Matthew
yeah.
McConaughey coming back and having a renaissance.
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 Yeah,
Say how you like.
Yeah, you got
Tomato,
speech
tomato.
impediment.
Speech impediment. Oh dear. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I hope they don't portray Cletus Cassidy like the character from the '94 Spider-Man cartoon, where he's like, "I'm a real bad guy, man, and I'm gonna like kill people, man." I hope they don't do that.
But they
with him.
do.
I need to get out because I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah,
I'm tapping
But
out.
that is that.
Okay, well picture this then. Tom Hardy with some CGI on him versus Woody Harrelson with some CGI on him. Does it look good in your head? Tom Hardy chewing up the scenery, Woody Harrelson slurring out of the side of his mouth all the way through.
But
It's hard
again,
to imagine.
Yes.
We're again though we're saying that these characters are then going to bleed over into the Spider-Man Homecoming universe of films.
Maybe.
I don't know if they are.
No.
I really don't know if they are. Oh, I don't know.
I'm
Nothing
okay with it
matters.
because I like Woody Harrelson. In fact, he's probably, if it's true, it's probably my reason for wanting to see the movie.
Would he not make a better Eddie Brock
Oh yeah,
Than-
but he's a bit older though,
than
isn't he?
Tom Hardy
And
being Eddie Brock?
He's not quite as
Tom Hardy? Yeah, Tom Hardy.
air
Yeah.
quotes sexy as Tom Hardy, is he?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't like Tom Hardy. So
No, you don't.
No,
You really
no.
don't.
I'm not that sure either.
I can appreciate his attractiveness.
I'm going to move on.
Sure.
Next piece of news. Last piece of news, actually. So, Fantastic Four has been out of the comics for a while. The rumour is that because Fox owned Fantastic Four and made movies of it, that the Marvel Comics didn't want to publicise those films and didn't want to give any profits towards that, so they kind of shuffled them away in the comics and put them somewhere else.
Didn't they go off on some space adventure or something?
Not totally sure.
No, I don't know. Someone will know. Someone will tweet in and let
If
us know.
anyone is interested in the best Fantastic Four comic run, I recommend to you Jonathan Hickman's run. It is super, super fantastic. It ties over with...
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It ties in with all sorts of things like the Shield run, which was set like in the Middle Ages with well, it was through time actually, and Future Foundation, and then Johnny Storm going off and Fantastic Four being 3 because Johnny Storm dies. Spoilers, sorry, for a comic that came out like 5-6 years ago. It's a really
But now
great
it's
run.
back.
So it went away for a bit, and now it's back because Chief Editor-in-Chief C.B. Cebulski, I still can never get that
Sebulba.
right. Yeah. He's decided to bring it back. He's the Marvel Editor-in-Chief now, and it's going to be written by Dan Slott and drawn by Sarah Pichelli, and that's pretty awesome.
Now, a couple of things that make me excited about this. Number one, Fantastic Four are Marvel's first family, and they've not been in the comic books for, I'm going to back myself and say 4 years. It's probably more.
Probably.
Or less. Who knows? Nothing matters.
They haven't been around definitely since 2016 when Secret Wars happened, but
there
they
you
were kind of shuffled off before that.
So I'm actually going to, I'll bring that up in Nerdscene, but I'm actually starting to read Secret Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, So them coming back is exciting because they're like a founding cornerstone of the Marvel comic universe.
Well, like they were in the second or third issue of Spider-Man. That was how Spider-Man became popular because they were established. It was like, Spider-Man knows Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So, look, it's popular again.
Yeah,
You know?
they always used to hang out as well, have adventures together, that sort of thing. Swing around, fantastic about the place.
Yeah.
Dan Slott writing them is great because Dan Slott is a genius.
He's very funny.
He's very funny. He's got a lot of heart in what he writes, and he can do stuff that has you on the edge of your seat when you're reading a comic book.
3 big titles. This is for you, James, because I know you wouldn't have read this, but 3 things he's done very well. He did She-Hulk. He did a really good run on She-Hulk. I mean, he's done loads of stuff. He did an incredibly long run on Spider-Man, which was really, really good.
Just wrapping up, yeah.
And in Spider-Man, he did a really interesting story of Peter Parker died and Dr. Octopus took over as Peter Parker.
What?
The superior Spider-Man.
It's difficult to explain without reading it. Anyway,
mine's blown.
He also did recently Silver Surfer, which is all cosmic and spacey. So this is perfect for him because he can do funny with
heart, drama, action,
and it can do
everything.
spacey stuff.
And the artist, Sarah Pichelli, did a lot of Ultimate comic books. So did some Miles Morales Spider-Man, did some X-Men, did some Ultimates as well, I think. So, the Ultimate comic book, which then smashed together with the regular Marvel universe in Secret Wars. She's done some artist work in that. She's great. It's going to be great.
Trying to find a good Sarah Pichelli picture to show you.
Summary, this is good.
It's all good. It's
Also,
really, really good news.
Also, another reason why it's good, I think, going back to what Nick said at the start, the suspicion is that Marvel Comics shuffled the Fantastic Four off because basically all it was doing was promoting Fox movies. Now they're coming back. I think that Fox,
Disney
buying Fox deal is
So
absolutely almost nailed on to
Sarah
happening.
Pichelli artwork. She's great.
Cool.
She's really slick and she's got some really
That
nice
looks.
lines.
You know, you gave me those comics to read.
This is great radio, by the way, describing a picture.
Is that looks similar? Did she do that?
You're probably thinking of Steve McNiven, who did Civil War.
Right.
Similar. They got a similar look
very
about
similar.
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing well, mate. You're doing really well.
Yeah.
No, but I think that the fact that Marvel are bringing them back, I think it's almost nailed on that the MCU are going to have the Fantastic Four within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I'd say almost definitely. And someone came out the other day, again, this is news, but it's not really news.
Is it?
John Krasinski, who was played Jim in The American Office.
Oh, this is one of my things.
Okay, he was also rumoured to be playing the part of Captain America before Chris Evans took the role.
Right.
Has come out and said, oh yeah, I'd like to be in an MCU movie and I'd love to play Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, that'd be great. So John Krasinski as Reed Richards, there you go, I've just done the fan casting for it.
Brilliant, you've done it.
And his wife, Emily Blunt as Sue Storm. Ooh,
that sounds nice.
I'll take that.
Good.
I think that's the end of the news, isn't
That's
it?
the end of the news. Yeah.
Good.
Should we do some nerd scene?
Oh, okay. Nerdscene.
So this is Nerdscene. This is where we talk about stuff we've seen and read and watched, and it's a play on the words of seen, as in what you see with your eyes, S-E-E-N, and scene as in S-C-E-N-E, which is kind of like a compartment of a story.
Oh, I've just got it for all the times I've been. I've now
and so
got
we're
it.
nerds, seen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is
You know,
really
I
good.
could live the rest of my life and not have to hear that again, and I think I'd die happy.
Both of you hate me from what you both just said. Okay, I'll do my first one if that's all right with you.
Yeah, I don't have this in front of me, so you're going to have to guide me a bit.
Okay, I saw Portrait Artist of the Year 2018, the whole season 4 of it.
Cool.
Do you know what this is?
No.
Is it about people drawing people?
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's a little bit
by
Frank Skinner and a lady who's
Zoe Ball?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, not this season.
All right.
So you might have done it before.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just making up. I don't know where I got that name from.
This is slightly left field, but it's it's drawing, it's artwork, so it's comics and stuff.
Sure, it's nerdy stuff. That's fine.
It's on Sky Arts, and it is
I'm out.
literally.
It's on Sky Arts. I'm out.
The setup is they have 9 artists each week, and 3 each draw a different celebrity. So there are 3 celebrities come along, and they draw them, and they draw a portrait of them, and then the best ones go through, and then the semi-finals it filters down.
It's like
Bake Off,
basically, but with artwork.
Or
right?
X Factor.
Or X Factor, all of those shows, right?
Or
But
The
with
Voice.
artwork.
Yeah.
It is incredibly relaxing. It is wonderful to see the artwork come together. It's beautiful to see it. Like, one of my favourite things on like Twitter is when artists do like time lapses of them drawing comic book stuff.
They're great.
Same sort of thing, right? we even knew who the winner was before we started watching it, and still really enjoyed it.
Who won?
Portrait
one.
Samira, I think her name was. I think it was Samira.
And she drew.
Well, no. At the end, you get a commission. Like she got a commission, a £10,000 commission to paint or draw. The lady from Sex and the City, Kim Cattrall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it a? Is it a?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
You were there as well.
Oh, jeez,
All
yeah.
the way through this, when they're drawing celebrity, I was like, do I want to watch?
No, it's not nude.
I
Anyway,
didn't
It's not a
need
life
that.
portrait. Right, got you.
Okay.
it's really good. It's just
I'm out.
it's really interesting, and it's I didn't think I was going to like it. Well, I didn't think I was going to be as interested in it, but it's really interesting. And I think from an art point of view, we're talking about comic books and artistic things and the
Yeah.
art world, and it's really interesting.
You found it. There's a real tedious link there somehow.
No,
isn't
there is, but we're talking about arty stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
even though it's nerdy, it's about things that make us feel something.
Yeah.
You know, and if that thing we feel is like excitement because it's a superhero flying around in multicolored suits, doesn't matter. It still makes you. Art is about emoting, and that's all it does. It's really
No,
good.
I agree.
I get the impression that Frank Skinner probably makes it that much more enjoyable to watch because he's quite funny.
He's not.
Or is
He
he
doesn't
annoying?
take the limelight. He's not annoying at all. He's actually quite gentle in it, and he's very good.
I like Frank Skinner.
Yeah, I
Fancy
anyway,
football back in the day, brilliant.
it's good. It's a really good show. The next one on here is Peter Rabbit. Someone saw Peter Rabbit?
Oh yeah, I took the kids to see Peter Rabbit on Good Friday. Oh god.
Is it rubbish?
Sam Neill's in it
Oh yeah.
as old Mr. McGregor.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers, he dies.
Wow.
In like the first 5 minutes.
Oh.
And then young Mr. McGregor, who may happen to be General Hux
Yeah.
from
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes, from Star Wars: The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, is the new Mr. McGregor, and he's actually quite funny. But to be perfectly honest with you, the kids loved it, but I thought it was pretty much a real shit show.
Cool.
Oh no.
And there are three, the voices of the three sisters that Peter Rabbit has. So he has Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail as sisters. All the way through the film, I was like, I know these voices. I know who these people are. But I didn't want to get my phone out in the middle of the cinema because, that's a dick move. So I waited until the end, went to the car. Just before we drove out of the car
You
park.
didn't look at the credits in the film?
No, because I was trying to get kids' coats
Okay,
on.
okay.
Not have drinks spilt over me and
Yeah.
not lose them in the rush. It's Rey from Star Wars is one of them.
Oh yeah.
It's Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad is another one, and it's what's she called, the Empress of the Sovereign from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Is the other
Oh
one.
yeah, I didn't know
So
that.
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So they are Peter Rabbit's James Corden's sisters are Rey, Harley Quinn, and Empress of the Sovereign.
I think that's pretty cool, and it's
That is
quite
pretty
big,
cool.
It's a big cast.
Yeah,
Big
it
cast
is,
for
yeah.
voices.
Oh,
And you're
yeah,
saying the film
and
was a bit.
Domhnall Gleeson's in it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
oh god, lady who played one of Amidala's decoys in.
Keira Knightley?
No, not her. She was also in the Neighbours films, Bad Neighbours films. She's like married to Seth Rogen. I always forget her name.
Cameron Diaz?
No, she's in a TV
Do you
show
mean the
called
one?
Damages.
Do you mean the one from Bridesmaids?
Yes, that's the one who plays the new friend who's very posh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's.
She plays someone called B, who may or may not be Beatrix Potter.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
What is her name?
Can't remember.
Is it Laura Miller?
No.
Oh, I'm just making
I'll
stuff
know
up.
it the second someone says it.
If only we had some way of looking
If
it up.
only we did. Nate, you go on with your next thing.
James, tell us about Come Home.
Oh yeah, watched it last night.
What is it? What is it?
So I believe I watched the second episode last night. So it's a bit,
Fail.
yeah, absolute fail. And the only
Roseburn.
Okay.
Rosebud.
And the only reason I watched it is because I have my in-laws with me and they like watching it, so I was just sat there. It's basically a BBC One drama.
Yeah.
What's it
it's
called? Sorry, I missed
Come
this.
Home.
Okay.
It's got some. I'll tell you about the actor and actress in a minute. But it's basically a wife decides to leave her family, so husband, 3 kids, and just basically how do they cope with that rejection? How can she leave her past behind? They were doing flashbacks of it. I was like, I don't know whether I want to watch this. I might just go and read a comic. That's what I was actually going to do.
Good.
I was going to go and read a comic, but within about 2-3 minutes it hooked me. And I saw, actor Chris Eccleston, and it also had
Doctor Who.
Abby who played Abby in Donovan. I've just forgotten.
Oh, Ray Donovan. Oh, yeah. You
so
told me this.
Paula Malcolmson. She plays
she
the woman.
was in Deadwood as well.
That's exactly what I said this morning when you
That's
told me
the
about it.
first thing he said.
Yeah, Deadwood, yeah.
And she
She's a
was
fantastic actress.
Yeah, it's pretty hard hitting.
Well, Chris Eccleston's great, isn't he?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, brilliant. I am definitely going to be watching.
episode 1.
I'm going to definitely watch episode 1 and then the next episode next week. It was different. You very rarely hear of a wife leaving the family.
Yeah,
especially in
they're
modern
kids.
culture. Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was
they
good.
can do what they want, James.
They can do what they want, and I'm not saying they can't, but I'm just saying it's unusual.
True.
Good. It was good.
Ah.
Cool. Good recommendation. You read Luther Strode?
Yeah, so this is another thing. Last week I talked about Godless, and it was a Netflix recommendation. You may like this, and I gave it a go. Well, Luther Strode was something that when I was buying digital comics years ago, it was always recommended to me that I might like this. So I was buying digitally. I bought The Walking Dead, and I did a little bit of Invincible that way, and it always popped up as like, you should try this, you might like this. So I don't buy digital comics really anymore. I buy physical books, and I saw this come out as the complete series as a hardcover. I think it was around October time, so I bought it, put up my little pile of things to read. I'm going through that list at the moment, and it was next on the list, and I read it. It's 18 comic books collected in 3 sort of 6 editions,
Right.
and it is absolutely brilliant. It's a mix of like a superhero origin story with horror elements thrown in, and don't get me wrong, it's not for everyone because it's very, very, very violent, and there's a character in it who basically would give Negan in the comics a run for their money with the amount of foul language she spurts.
I'm out.
But honestly, it is really, really good. Premise is this: weedy high school guy who's always getting picked on, a bit like Peter Parker. Wants to change.
Bit like me, yeah.
Yeah. Wants to change his life. Wants to get a bit of physical fitness. Wants to sort of impress the girls a little bit. Wants to sort of do something different.
Yeah.
He finds and gets a mail order sent. This like Hercules fitness text. Basically, he reads it, and it sort of gives him mind power over his own muscles. And it's not really explained very well. It's sort of whatever you want it to be.
Right.
But honestly, the story by Justin Jordan and the artwork by Trad Moore, I think it is. I might have got those two the wrong way around. But anyway, it's a phenomenal comic book. I'm really pleased I read it. I'd say that the first 2 volumes are better than the bookend, the 3rd volume. But the whole thing taken together is great, and I really liked it. And Matt Young from MyOhMy Design has also read and liked that as well.
Oh, good old
And
Matt.
I agree with him. He said, volume 3 was a bit rushed, but volume 1 and 2 are great, and I completely agree. But it is a great comic book. If you fancy something, James, that's a bit superhero-y, but also with a little bit of a horror vibe to it, I can let you borrow it. It's not that much to read.
I've got
18 issues. I did it in like 3 days.
Wow, I've got to plough through. I will. I've got to plough through what...
You've got a bit to go through.
I haven't.
You don't have to read the ones, I don't you?
No, but I definitely want to read Civil War because
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to read about 10 pages.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what was going on.
But you're not supposed to at the beginning. It's fine.
No, I
not
didn't.
at all.
And there was all sorts of... I was like, what's going on here? And then, but I liked it because it was opening my eyes to a whole new world.
Ah.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
I was just thinking,
my
about
God.
that as well. Is that Aladdin? Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is, yeah.
Oh, I love you, Jasmine.
So, okay, cool. The next thing is the review of Ready Player One. But leading into that, a funny thing happened when you and James went to see Ready Player
Oh
One.
my goodness.
Okay, so this is something that happened to us as nerds. So I don't know how well you know View Cinema in Exeter.
I used to go
But
there.
it's got a weird shape to it, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
like you walk in the front and it's really sort of it's not like a massive room, but it's sort of stretched out really, really long.
Yep.
And you've got Cinema 1 down the bottom, and 2 and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, are
Yep.
upstairs. And there's always there's like a concession stand where this guy who normally checks your
Tickets, please.
tickets will sort of check your ticket and make sure you're going to the right place. So James and I are walking through, and there's this guy stood there.
Can
And
I just say, can we build it? Because we were talking, so we weren't really concentrating.
This is true.
We saw a person at the ticket stand that checks tickets.
Yes.
And so we were just out,
Now, the View Cinema outfit is a black top, black cap.
Yes, it
This
is.
guy was wearing a black top and a black hat.
And that's all we saw.
And that's all we saw. So we're talking along. We're like, I showing our tickets. Is that all right, mate? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And he sort of shrugged and sort of looked confused. And then we saw that he was holding a hot dog and he was waiting for his girlfriend and he didn't work at View.
Brilliant.
And we were complete idiots.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are
and
idiots.
then he sat in front of us in the cinema. So
Brilliant.
we felt like absolute
Brilliant.
nerds.
You are.
It was
You are.
brilliant. It was
You're
so
idiots.
funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It was quite funny.
It was very funny at the
We
time.
tried to
It might
laugh
not
it
sound
off, didn't
very-
we?
I think you probably have to be there to appreciate
Yeah,
how
I did.
amusing it was.
Yeah, no, sure.
But it was almost like half the downstairs bit near that concession stand sort of turned around and went, "Ah, what a bunch of pricks."
Nate's not impressed. Look at his body language.
Yeah, look at him sat forward, arms folded, looking like he doesn't care.
No.
I don't care about you two. I've made that clear already.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Good. That means, like, okay.
So,
Just
Ready
before
Player
we-
One.
Yes. Now, I've got some audience feedback, listener feedback on Ready Player One. Do you want to put that in at the end?
At the end, yeah.
Good,
I'll
good.
tell you what, we'll put that in where I've put the link about Easter eggs because I don't want to go through the Easter egg
Oh,
list.
God, no.
Okay.
No.
So we've got a few things on here. We've got a few bullet points that we'll probably hit along the way about Ready Player One. The first thing, though, is non-spoilers.
I'm
So
excited about this.
first impressions, because none of us have actually discussed it.
No.
I'm impressed
Not-
you two have.
Well, James and I walked out the cinema and said, in 5 words, just quickly, what do you think?
And what were your 5 words?
James gave 4 words and I gave 2 words.
Let's go.
Oh, I said I really liked it.
And I said, me too.
All right, okay.
This is not going to go well for you, Nate,
5
is
words,
it?
let's go.
Counting on
Hang on,
fingers.
yeah.
We are men counting on fingers. Do you want me to get the calculator out?
I could do 6. I was bored at one point.
Oh,
Is that it? Is that only at 1 point?
Well, it was an extended period.
oh,
Was
for
it
the
from
whole
1 minute
film?
1 to minute 132
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that?
It was fine and predictable.
Can I confirm? Have any of us read the book?
No,
Okay. So,
I haven't. I own it, but I haven't read it.
No. So
I hear they're very different though.
I'm going to say that at no point is. Oh, it's a big one. Has there ever been a film that has been made from a book that was as good as the book?
Ooh, that feels like a whole podcast topic on its
Maybe.
own. Yeah.
The only one I will say is I really enjoyed reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and I loved the film.
Oh, the
To
film's
Kill a Mockingbird.
incredible. Yeah.
But
Actually, yeah.
so I think when you read a book, you have your own imagination. So I just think.
Yeah, well,
there we go.
apparently, a lot of the reviews for this film are split, and I don't think it's completely like this because it's not the same for us. But a lot of people are saying if you've read the book, you don't like the film, but if you haven't read the book, you will like the film.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I
because
don't know if that's entirely true with some of the feedback that I've got.
I know
but okay.
that seems to be the generalisation.
I think, yeah.
But I think that's what you're saying there is that you've got these expectations from the book, and then the film
Yeah, 'cause
doesn't quite meet that.
Well, you've got your own imagination.
Well, if
so
you
you
think
you have somebody else's imagination,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, whatever,
Yeah.
trying to interpret what he thinks of a book, which could be completely different to how when I read it, how I thought it was.
Well, if you think back to what we were last week, we were talking about the Uncanny Valley
Yes.
with Eric Malinsky, who did the podcast Imaginary Worlds, which we talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He even said on there the reason for him doing that topic was because he read the book and he loved it so much that he pictured those characters, and then he saw the trailer and said, "I'm not going to watch it
No.
because none of that fits to what I thought."
No.
So it highlights what
Yeah.
you were saying there.
yeah.
No spoilers.
I thought it was incredibly predictable. I don't think it did. I don't think it's for us. I think it's a kids' movie.
How do you describe? Because there's lots of references in there.
Yeah, I
from
know.
when we were kids.
Agreed.
So-
Which is
So
why.
I'm not entirely sure what it is.
But that's
No.
why I don't think I enjoyed it that much, because there was piling on of those references.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them subtle, some of them not so much. And in fact, the bits where I was bored were there was a couple of bits were the extended big scenes where they threw in everything, even the kitchen sink, and my brain literally went, should I be watching the main characters, or am I supposed to be looking for the Easter eggs? Which is the thing that's important to me? And then I didn't care about either. Do you know what I mean?
That's a bit of an issue, yeah.
Because it took me out. I'm like, oh right, there's the light on the kit car. Okay. Oh look, there's Batmobile. Okay. Oh, hang on. They're lining up for a race. Right. Sorry, the race thing.
I
Yeah,
think
you know.
I didn't know about these Easter eggs
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
So
There's an awful lot of
So,
game
but
ones in
I
there as
saw
well.
lots
Yeah,
of things.
I did,
I was oh, we're not allowed to talk spoilers. But
Well,
and then
yeah.
the opening scene, I was like, oh, that's quite cool. I like that. Oh, I seen that. That was cool. I didn't find if I recognised it, I was like, that's brilliant. If I was to see it again and we were to have a game, how many can we spot? I would definitely be up for that.
Oh,
I would not be looking or listening to the story. I'd be just like, my competition is I need to see all the Easter eggs.
But I've watched a few YouTube videos with those Easter egg things on there, and like some of them I'm like,
They're
I would
mind-numbing.
never have, not in a million years would I have seen that.
I really liked the opening scene where you got the description of what the Oasis was. I really liked that.
Ooh, see.
Did you?
Do you know what it reminded me of? For some reason, it reminded me a bit of Wreck-It Ralph. You know when he goes through and they all come into like at the train station or whatever it is, and you see all these other characters and stuff. That was my first thing. I was like, oh, is this going to be like Wreck-It Ralph?
But I like the fact that you were seeing things where you saw that massive brute character die, and then it cuts to this little 4-year-old girl taking off an Oasis headset, throwing it on the floor and going, ah!
Yeah,
you saw another character getting into a massive fight, cut to real world, a mum stood on her sofa in the Oasis whilst her kitchen's catching fire behind her. It's an analogy, really, of people's addictions to mobile phones and technology in this day and age.
Mate, you have taken the words right out of my mouth, and I had that to talk about.
Sorry.
I hate you.
There was loads of
I've got
stuff
something
in
else
it.
as well, Mick.
But there was loads of stuff in it like that, where you go, oh, that's really good. Like the Easter eggs. You go, oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, there's Jurassic Park. There's the dance. There's all the way through. In fact, I think the whole film, you could just splice it up and go, that's good. That's good. But I think the whole thing together just feels a bit meh. It's a bit, I don't know, like it's very simplistic. There are weird inconsistencies, like sometimes you have to run on a treadmill and sometimes not, and sometimes you can be killed, but other times they can just take their helmet off and they're out in the real world. Sometimes they can see in the real world but they can't. Like there's a lot of stuff in it that
I've got something on spoilers that I want to get into on that as well. Yeah.
And I just felt it was all a bit like you hit the nail on the head earlier, Ben. It's who it's for.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
it's not for computer game nerds because they watch it and go, it's not right.
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
I don't think it's for people of our age because the story is too simplistic and there are plot holes and it's more about the kids falling in love instantly. Bit of spoiler there.
I didn't think it was about. I think that was a side.
But
I wouldn't say that was the main story.
But then there are things like
it's
okay,
about
spoilers. Let's get into spoilers a
Oh,
little
we
bit.
get-
Hang on. I just want to very quickly say, I think I know why the film was made. If you look in the past sort of 5 years or so, look at all the young adult movies that have been made from books, like the Catching Fire.
Oh yeah, no, it's
what's it? What, Hunger Games.
it's of that generation.
Like
Definitely, it's
Maze
Hunger
Runner.
Games, Maze Runner. Yeah.
Well, it's a young adult novel that's been made into a movie that just happens to have sci-fi, futuristic,
No, do you know what?
gamer elements thrown into it.
The only thing that makes
Pop
it
culture
different to
references
any of
thrown into it.
those is that Steven Spielberg's directing it. I
Yeah.
genuinely think you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's completely in that bracket because those films all have major plot points that are wrong as well, and they all have different skewed target audiences and things. And yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly
Before we
that.
get into spoilers, I want to say that beside myself, I really actually enjoyed this movie. It extended I'll talk to you about this, James, my ongoing run of bank holiday, watching a film that don't really know what's going on and actually really enjoying it, because I tend to do that on bank holidays for whatever reason, don't know why. It was a fun time. It's not going to change the world. I don't know if there will be a sequel.
Oh, I hope not.
It was a fun time.
No, I hope not because it's complete.
Well, I guess if there's not a
Unit.
sequel for the book, but you talk about the plot. Is that? But do you have that sort of same thought when you read a book? Oh, there's a hole in that.
No,
Is
no.
it because
Well,
you're
sometimes,
reading it
but
and rather than having it put to you visually?
yeah, maybe, and maybe you immerse yourself in it a bit more. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it definitely. And it definitely picked up towards the end. It was, it was entertaining, and it's got all the feel good beats in it, and but yeah, I was just a bit predictable.
It was fine.
It was fine.
You're saying.
Yeah.
Let's get into spoilers.
Do it.
Let's talk some spoilers.
Let's smash it out of the park.
Well, what spoilers are there really? I mean,
We'll go down through the list and let's talk.
okay.
about
So what
some
did
things.
we like?
Okay, I can tell you that I really liked the girl who was in it, and I thought that she was a more interesting character and should have been the main character. And you said right at the top, as we say
Yeah.
in the podcasting world,
Yeah.
that What did you say? I can't.
I don't know what I said.
I can't think where I was going with this. That apparently it's very different to the book.
Yes, yeah.
If they were going to make it that different to the book, why not make the girl? What the hell's her name again? I've forgotten her name. Artemis.
Yeah.
Why not make
Samantha.
her the lead character?
Yeah,
Samantha.
Yeah.
Not Sam.
No, not Sam.
Not Sam.
No.
Why not make her the lead character? Because she was more interesting, I thought, than the guy was. She actually had a backstory that you could sort of get invested in. You know, she went into her father went into one of those, the things that MyOhMy were building, you know,
The loan
detention
centres.
centres, yeah, whatever they were called.
Yeah.
And had to work off a debt and died from it. Well,
But why
that was
didn't
actually an interesting backstory, and the guy didn't really have one of them. So why not make her the lead character?
Also, he was almost not invincible, but like he had all the answers.
He knew everything.
He knew everything. He could do everything. And when he
said he could do it, I mean, he had all the answers because he was a geek.
Yeah.
He knew lots about Holiday. Is that the same?
Halliday.
Halliday,
Yeah,
thank you. So he knew all that. So he's like geeked up, but he wasn't willing to take risks, and that's where he had that conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's
with,
good.
With
Yeah.
Artemis. She was like, "Well, you're never going to do anything because you don't push yourself. You just go to a bit where, oh yeah, I've got some money. I've collected coins. I'm going to go to this race. I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to jump over King Kong or try to." But I've never got the kahunas to do it. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah, and I
he
think-
wants to win it and
Yeah.
do it, but he hasn't got the balls.
And that's, I think, where I mean it's predictable in some way, because you set up those characters early on, and you don't even signpost it necessarily. You put it out there front and centre, and she says to him, "You don't have the balls," so you know his journey through the movie is by the end.
He's got the balls.
He's going to kiss her, and he's going to win the game.
How cool is that?
You know, it's good, and that's what I mean. That's why you feel good at the end of it, because it's got all the.
His
It's got
character
all.
went on a journey.
It's got
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
hero beats. It's got all that. Yeah, I just was.
Just you didn't like the way it was presented to you?
No, I just found it not as interesting as it. Well, there were no twists and turns. It was just.
What did you guys think? Because I tell you what, I bloody loved the Shining bit.
That was
for
good.
for the second key.
Yeah.
Okay.
That entire sequence was so well done. I can't even believe it was done.
Okay, questions for you then.
Uh-oh.
Right, I like the Shining,
The film or the sequence?
the film.
Right. Okay.
As we were talking earlier, JB, about
Yeah.
I like it because I can study it as a film nerd.
Yeah.
Right.
Cinematography.
Yeah. I look at it and go, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Degree in film.
I don't really like horrors that much, but it's an interesting film.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not even our generation, right?
What, The Shining?
Yeah.
Film or the book? Or both?
The film.
Yeah, no. It came out in 1980, I think. I was 2.
Yeah.
You were
So
2.
so it's not our generation, right? It's our fathers,
Yeah.
mothers and fathers, right?
Yeah.
And yet it's being presented for teenagers now
But
in
what-
this.
what it
so
could
what is the
do-
point of it in that sequence?
I
Well,
think-
I'm going to
oh.
argue here. It could convince teenagers now that their life as they know it isn't all of existence. There was a lot of stuff that came before
Yeah.
they were born.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
go back and look at that.
Yeah,
go back
you're
and
right.
look at all these 80s and 70s songs.
But-
go back and look at The Shining. Look how the same it is
Yeah.
in this movie from 2018 to this movie that came out 38 years
Yeah,
ago.
but why is it given such a focus and such an extended sequence where King Kong is just given that first
Because
race?
it was related to the whole point of one of the clues, wasn't it? Around
Yeah.
Halliday and what he hates and what his regrets were, and they linked that to the author of the book and all this.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
He took her to the cinema to
a
see it.
creator hating his creation because Stephen
Thank you,
King
Benjamin.
hated The Shining,
Yeah.
the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. But again, it doesn't answer. I'm talking about target audience.
But
Yeah,
it's one of those iconic films, isn't it?
Yeah, and it works.
And you can pull things out. I'm willing to bet if there's another film that comes out, there's iconic scenes within, like the Terminator, or in fact,
Yeah.
it was in this, wasn't it? When
Yeah,
the Iron Giant put his thumb up.
Yeah,
As it
of
came
course,
down.
there was a
That
Terminator 2 reference.
we
Yeah, yeah.
loved it. I was
Easter
like-
egg.
I was like, so
Well, it's what it is it's an extended Easter egg, and that Easter egg, it might not be intended for kids. It's intended for adults who will get everything from that scene, or the footage, the music, is all from 1980 Stanley Kubrick masterpiece, The Shining. And look how perfectly they did it, and they also conveyed Jack Nicholson without having to show his face and spend $50 million on the
Yeah.
rights for his face.
I'm arguing for argument's sake, really, because I enjoyed that sequence. It was probably one of the best from a film critic point of view, it was
we
probably
go.
one of the best. It was the most interesting to watch because it was a set, or it was, or the CGI was so good that they took away the shine from it. I actually, in fact, I would say the worst bit about it is the fact that you've got these CGI characters who are obviously video game characters, although why they look like that, I don't know. Why they can't look like
I think
humans.
that's
Well, this is the whole
them
point.
in that scene,
Because-
it takes me out of it.
Oh, right, okay.
when they go into that scene first of all, and they're walking down the stairs in that great big open
Yep.
room that Jack Torrance is working in the actual film.
Yeah.
That, I think, is all they've done there is they've removed the character from The Shining from the
So it's
frame,
used the same shot. Okay.
and they've used the exact same
Did-
shot
Yeah.
and just put the characters in
Well,
it.
the girls, how did they do the two girls? Was that CGI?
No, they must be new.
No, they were
actresses.
new. They were
Really?
new. Yeah,
Okay, it was
yeah.
pretty good, though.
It was. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That sequence was really well done, incredibly well done. I watched it and was like, "Wow, this looks great."
And what about with Halliday's wife? Sorry, not
The
wife.
girl, the woman that you went on a date with, was Og's wife, wasn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
When she jumps across and dances with her, that was
real.
and I was like, that was pretty. With the CGI bit,
Yes.
this uncanny valley. But, it was pretty good.
I think it's really interesting that they took the choice to keep the characters, the main characters, Parzival and Artemis, and that, to make them look like, let's say, PlayStation 3 graphics, and yet we can see that they have the technology to make it look better because you see them in the scene together, you see Kira, who's a real woman, next to Artemis.
I'm going to upgrade you to PlayStation 4 graphics, definitely.
Well, maybe, but but there's a like an Unreal Engine type, like a Call of Duty type sheen to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the characters that you can see that they've got nice textures and they've got details, and you can see like pores in the skin and stuff, but they're shiny.
Yeah, it took me a little while to adjust. I was like,
Yeah.
no, what's going on? I think right at the start, Parsifal's hair is all not working quite. It's not
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Then Artemis does something, and then because it was just swaying all the time. It was
That's
like,
what I was
there's
trying
no
to figure
wind.
out what it was. Yeah.
I think it was. I think it was based on how he built his avatar that it wasn't perfect, and
Right,
that
okay, and she
did
fixed
something.
it, okay.
I really like the bit where they have. Oh God, I forget what the bad guy's called. Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan.
Sorrento.
Yeah.
When they hack into him just as he's coming out of the Oasis, and they install him where he thinks he's in his office, but he's actually in the Oasis, and he peels off his human skin to reveal his avatar.
Yeah, it's
oh,
good.
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
that was so well done.
But
Yeah.
it was really badly scripted. It was terrible. It was like we generally speaking, cinema goers of today, kids as well, have a very good cinema language, right? We knew that's what they'd done.
I didn't.
I didn't. Genuinely.
Okay, you knew that's what he'd done when he pulled his face off.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
At
yeah.
that point, yeah.
And then there was a whole sequence where they went, and what we do is we hack into his thing, and this is what he sees, and this is what he really sees.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a real ham-fisted, like, yeah, we get it.
Yeah, show, don't tell. They showed, and then
And then
they
told you. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but then also, another point about that scene, inconsistencies. Can he see out of his visor? Could he not just take it off?
No, he didn't know, did he?
No, but you know...
I think we're getting into the bits of stuff that we don't like now.
No, but
aren't
I'm
we?
just saying, like, it's inconsistent.
Sure, I get it. Another inconsistency is, when Parzival tells Artemis his real name
Yeah.
when they're in the dance bit.
Yeah.
The dance bit is a bit.
It's on the nose.
in
It's
there
on
for
the
show,
nose.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, yeah.
It's a date. It's their
Yeah,
first date.
but
Yeah.
when he says, "Oh yeah, by the way, my name's Wade," she's like, "No, don't tell me your name." How come she knew who those other three guys were? H, or who I all the way
H,
through was called H.
Yeah.
But it's the phonetic. It's spelt the way you phonetically pronounce H.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
I didn't get that. So when his name was held up, someone was holding up a sign going H forever, whatever it was. I was like, "What the freaking hell? Oh, it's that." Right.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
But then
Her. We're in
yeah,
spoilers. You can say her.
Yeah, we are in
Yeah,
spoilers.
Helen.
That's right. So when you got Helen and the samurai dude and the coolest 11-year-old kid in the world.
Yeah.
How the hell, if you're not supposed to share anyone's name, did she know who those other three were?
But aren't they? Isn't she building a resistance?
Yeah, but where did they come from?
I didn't care about that.
I know. But it's another inconsistency.
They would have, in my mind.
Nate had clocked out by then.
No.
He's done his shift.
His arms are folded.
No, because that's not inconsistency for me. That's a scene we didn't see because they're already sort of air quotes clanned up in the Oasis.
Yeah.
They'd already met, and at that point they were already planning to take over, and she'd gone into prison. So I just assumed they'd already had a conversation.
All the way through, they were saying, "No, I don't clan up. So
yeah,
when did they clan up? Yeah.
Hey, you're getting into things you don't like. Let me give you something I did like. I wanted to, because
go.
I'm the
Brace
resident.
yourself. I'm strapped in. I've just put my.
I'm the resident hater. I know. I'm not, and I didn't hate this movie at all. I was entertained. I was just a bit bored with the Easter egg stuff.
Go for it, Nate. My body is ready.
Don't worry. I'm going to brace it with a thing I didn't like to begin with.
Oh, I love a sandwich from there.
Yeah. Right, the race at the beginning was too much.
Yes.
Right, it was too much.
I couldn't keep up with
Couldn't keep up. Too much going on. It was Transformers, all the references, all the explosions. Didn't like it.
Nope.
What I did like was then when he went underneath, and there was this calm moment where all that shit's going on above, and he's just backing up, and it kind of made me go, oh
yeah, that's good.
Okay,
yeah.
And it was a really lovely calm moment where he'd obviously already won. And it was just getting to the key. And I really liked that bit.
I wish I could drive backwards that
I know.
DeLorean backwards.
Yeah. Oh, what did you say? A Theorian?
DeLorean.
Thank you. I just said a third rather than a duh.
One thing I have to again say I didn't like was the first task, the race that he had to win, and he did it, and the second task, the shining thing where Artemis does it. The third task, they don't complete it. It's completed by IOI. The whole film is pretty much based around the chase of these.
No, that's not.
Getting these.
No,
yeah, it is. The third thing is solved by IOI, and they figure out they've got to.
They figure out that that's what it is.
A bunch of Atari video games.
Adventure. It's called Adventure.
Adventure. Yeah, that's the one they've got to go through all of the Atari video games first to try and to scribble off which one isn't the one to do. And I just thought, well, what do they have to solve to do puzzle number 3? How come they solved it?
Oh, I didn't care by that point because...
No, again, didn't care.
No, but let me tell you why I didn't care. I didn't because if you've done an extra one where they have to figure out a clue again, I've already seen that twice.
Yeah.
The first time it was great seeing Parsifal figure it out, even though it was a little bit like, someone would have figured that out beforehand. It was cool because he's the hero that you're invested in because he needs a win.
So show one of those nerds in the boiler room that they were all working in. There was that red-haired girl.
Yeah.
Who said, excuse me. She said, "Oh, it's Adventure. That's the one we have to play."
Ben, I
so
guarantee
show her
you,
figuring that out.
There's a deleted scene where she does figure it out, but I don't care. It worked for me in the same way that Arrival worked. The film Arrival. The whole extended first third is unknowns, not sure what's going on. And I worried about Arrival that I was a third of the way through thinking to myself, is this going to carry on like this? And then it just goes voiceover, this and this happened, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm up to speed. Same thing with this movie.
I'm nitpicking,
and that's why I didn't mind that because he still does do it.
Yes, that is true.
In fact, they don't figure it out; they only figure out part of it.
Yes. How quickly did you figure out that Simon Pegg's character was the butler? Because I knew straight away.
Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't know till the end.
No, I didn't know.
Seriously?
Yeah, I didn't
Did
know
you
till
not
the
tell
end.
from the accent?
No.
Oh,
straight away.
Ben, you're awesome.
I'll tell you why.
I don't know.
I'll tell you why I didn't think, because I thought he was going to be the bad guy. I thought there was going to be a twist where he became the bad guy
as well.
So maybe it's not as obvious as I thought and predictable as I thought. Maybe not.
No.
But I kind of was maybe let down that he wasn't the bad guy.
Well,
I don't really know what happened between Halliday and him.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's the same thing that what happened between Steve Jobs and
Steve
Wozniak.
Yeah.
Nothing really. They just sort of went separate ways. Og was. I knew that Og wouldn't be the bad guy because Wozniak was never a bad guy or isn't a bad guy. They just went. They had a parting of ways.
He was very Steve Jobs, wasn't he?
Who?
Halliday.
Yeah.
When he was Halliday, I was never convinced with him.
No, I didn't think
when
he
was.
was.
Halliday's avatar, fantastic.
He
I agree.
Me a bit of Emmett Brown from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He looked like him at one point. I was like, I was expecting him to go great Scott.
Oh, by the way, that's another thing I liked. I thought the music was fantastic.
Loved
Absolutely fantastic. And it was the same music done by, was it Alan Silvestri or Mark Silvestri from Back to the Future and Terminator and stuff?
It was a bit predictable though.
Yeah, but I love
Still,
it.
same thing.
I love it being tickled when I know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And I also liked iRock. I like TJ Miller.
Yeah, he was very funny. I was not expecting him to be funny, but he was.
He's awesomely funny. Have you not watched Silicon Valley?
No, I haven't. But he's in trouble for
Eric
some.
Bachman, and is he a bad person?
Well, there's some sexual abuse allegations against
didn't know
him.
that.
I suspect that's why we never saw his real world character in the film.
Right.
Because he's going through this
Challenging
time.
I don't know. I didn't
Well,
think
he's
it
in
mattered.
Deadpool. He's in Deadpool as well.
He is.
isn't
Yeah, I didn't think it mattered that you didn't see him.
No,
It's
not
fine.
at all. But
It was quite a funny character.
I
Quite enjoyed it.
But he very much plays the same. He's a very similar character in Silicon Valley.
Right,
It's just
okay.
this like very sort of.
Well, I quite like that his character was like.
Yeah.
His character was invested in the world. It was like, well, you have to say an enchantment to get it to work. But at the same time, he was like, but I'm a dude sitting in my couch or something. Do you know what I mean? Like he was invested
This
as
is
a
why
nerd.
I think
but
my son, who's a 16-year-old gamer, will like this film.
Yeah.
Because of all the gamer references in there.
Yeah.
The bit where you see those kids running down the street like that,
Yeah.
come to the Oasis, and you see the Master Chiefs running along.
Yeah.
My son his head will explode at that. You know?
Did you know
It's
about
just-
Did you think about the coin then? The coin had when he was first given the coin.
Oh,
from-
the extra
The
life.
one up,
Yeah,
yeah.
did-
Well, that is the smoking gun, isn't it? That coin is going to come back into. Oh, sorry, Chekhov's loaded gun.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
gun loaded has to be fired at some
Yeah.
point. I knew it would come back in somewhere. I didn't know how it would come back in,
Right,
but I knew
okay.
it would. So yeah, it was the extra life.
yeah, I figured that would be like the last ring that Sonic has. You know, like in Sonic the Hedgehog, when he gets hit by a spike, all his rings bounce out.
Yeah.
And you've got to just grab one, and then you're still alive type
Those
thing.
bloody spikes in Sonic the Hedgehog were a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I hate losing my
Coming
ring.
from nowhere. God damn it. Anyway, yeah. What's next?
Well, we've got a few things there. Easter eggs. We had kind of mentioned Easter eggs a bit. In here,
Oh,
but
so many Easter eggs.
So RoboCop, oh, brilliant.
but
Yes.
it's too
I
many.
saw RoboCop, but it was a real blink and you missed it though,
Oh,
wasn't
is
it?
that, I was expecting him to move or something. You know, it was too quick for me.
There were moments where I kind of hated myself for knowing things. Do you know what I mean?
Like, which bit did you?
Okay, so for example, the Rubik's Cube, which was the Zemeckis Cube.
Yeah.
Oh, I
so
love that.
Zemeckis Cube is Robert Zemeckis, who directed Back to the Future. So I was like, well, it's going to turn back time. And it happened, and it was like, yeah, well, Zemeckis, Back to the Future. And I kind of, in my head, I'm like, I wish I didn't know. I wish that was just a thing that was in the movie. Like, you know, like just
I'm
name
so
a thing a
stupid.
thing.
I didn't know that.
No, but that's fine, because there are other things that I was like, oh, I didn't get that. But
I didn't get the Holy Hand Grenade reference from Monty Python. I didn't. Because I haven't watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail in years. I've just forgotten it. So,
That's
you know,
fine.
the Holy Hand Grenade
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
once
yeah.
everyone else, that's, I think that's taken from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
yeah, it
I
is,
might
yeah,
be
yeah.
wrong.
It, which is also used in Worms.
Oh, of course, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the
so it
computer
is.
game. So,
So, you know, there's
There-
so many references in there.
but I hate being that guy. Don't you hate being that guy? That like smug, like, oh, I saw this and you did. I don't want to be that guy. Like, I
No.
want you to have enjoyed it
And I
as
did.
much or more than me, or different levels.
I did.
You know,
I
don't-
did enjoy it. I really did.
I think if you got all the Easter eggs in that movie from one or two viewings, you need to get a life.
I don't think you could have. I don't think you could have.
I really do think you. Now, if you lived in the Oasis, what avatar would you have?
Oh, oh.
I know who I'd have.
Who would you have?
Morpheus from the
Okay,
Matrix.
there's a question. Can I be Morpheus as well?
I don't think so.
So why? What? There are no rules
I
in the
don't
Oasis.
know. Although you did see a load of Master Chiefs running along, so maybe.
Well, no, there was Master Chief and there were Spartans.
Oh, true.
Yeah, which
that's
are different.
Oh, look at you. See,
yeah.
That's
See,
a-
I'm that
I-
guy,
I
smug
hate
guy.
that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm totally that guy.
No, but I want no. It's important. You assholes. It's important for the conversation because we're talking about
Yeah,
duplications of
I
things.
don't know,
the Millennium
actually.
Falcon. Well, you've got the Millennium Falcon. Well, H can make the Millennium Falcon if you want.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Stop answering my question with a question.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed a bit.
Who would you be, JP? If you could be anyone in the Oasis, who would your avatar be?
I might be a lemming.
Would it be you with?
I'll be a lemming or Bing Bunny.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. What would yours be, Nate? You just with dark hair instead of greying hair?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
He'd be death. He'd be death.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. Really, I don't really.
Dementor.
Don't.
From Harry
Ghostbuster,
Potter?
maybe.
A Ghostbuster. Venkman. That's who you'd be.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. What do you guys think about the action? We talked a little bit about the race scene. It was a bit too much. I thought the same was true of the fight at the end. It was all a bit too much. Why did the guy piloting the Gundam choose that moment to come in and be the Gundam? Why didn't he just
why
come
didn't
in
he turn
at
up
the
a little
beginning?
bit earlier and
Yeah.
why didn't he and the Iron Giant take on the Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah.
Good question. For plot reasons.
Yeah, I like the Lion Giant bit when I thought that was pretty a nice bit to come in.
But this is
it
what
didn't
I was
get too.
saying.
It wasn't too busy after that, but it was just absolute carnage going up to that.
Yeah.
And people just coming in and you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. There's too much. My eyes are following.
But that's what I mean. You can break it down and go, "Oh, that bit was good," or "That bit was good." But as putting it together, it didn't quite. Yeah, it was okay.
I guess it all depends on how you go in. Wanting to watch a film. What are your expectations? Are you expecting it to blow you away? Through what? It was a nice bank holiday movie where I could pick up on some things, and I did enjoy it. And I would.
But we've all agreed. I think we've all agreed. The scenes we liked the most were the ones without the action.
Yes.
So the race, the second part of the race, where it was less. The Shining isn't an action scene; it's an interesting.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know the.
I didn't hate the final fight scene. I thought it was fine.
I think the final scene, the final fight scene, is not great. It's busy. The bit where he's playing the computer game at the end is good, where he's talking you through what you have to do. It's a quiet moment.
Yeah, I did. Picking up on your point at the start, I love the fact it references that social media and people not really talking to real people anymore. And I quite liked at the end, though it was really kind of when they turned around on the seat and they were kissing. I mean, I don't think either of them were enjoying it or looked in love. To be honest, it was
no
like,
chemistry
It was
whatsoever,
like heavy petting, but I don't really want to kiss you. I like the fact that they turned the Oasis off on a Tuesday and a Thursday. I think. So people can.
Yeah, that was very good.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's just that it's how we're moving these days. People are wanting to move away from real life because they can do whatever they want somewhere else, and this is what Facebook and social media is doing now. How many times do you walk down the street and someone's just looking at the phone? Yeah, soon it's going to be a headset.
Yeah,
So I know it's a social commentary film. Yeah, absolutely. But it was a bit too light for me. Like Wade Watts is in those caravan type things stacked on top of each other.
Stacks.
Yeah, and you're kind of led to believe that's the world. But then later on, you see loads of streets and people and jobs and there were buildings and it's kind of like it was. You open the film like
He's in a ghetto.
This is how the world is. It's like, oh no, hang on, over there it's not like that.
No, it's like it for a portion of people, but not everyone.
Yeah, I like that's why I kind of.
But maybe is that part of his character? That
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, it's important for him,
His
parents died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. Did they tell us?
And IOI killed his aunt.
Oh, I tell you what, I did think.
He was a douchebag.
There was one point where I thought Og might be his father and be dead. Because he's got all the posters on the wall, and I wondered. And if that would have been the case, I kind of would have liked that. If he'd become this, if he was kind of this secret heir to it.
We haven't read the book. Maybe it's like that in the book.
That would be. I kind of thought, oh, that would be interesting if he's living in the slums and could go and take over if he wants to. A bit Tron-like, Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
I kind of would have liked that maybe, but it wasn't to be.
I very much liked the mechanics of the, what was it called, the X1 suit that he put on when they had the dance scene where she was sort of going between his legs and she was smoothing up his groin and you saw it sort of light up and his face go, oh!
You and I
she
both
cracked up. You and I looked at each other like,
yeah.
all right.
It's boner time.
I mean, that was a very much a teenage moment, and it was, but it kind of almost embarrassed me a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, they're having an intimate moment, you know.
I'm
like,
such a prude.
I'm
not
not a prude.
thinking about all the weird sex I'd have in the Oasis.
I'm sorry if I like weird sex in the real life. Actually,
my.
Swiftly moving on.
Yeah.
I think I might be blushing.
yeah. Well, okay. We've got there are two last things on here. We talked about effects and CGI a little bit. There were weird inconsistencies for me. Sometimes it looked incredibly real. Sometimes it looked really shiny. And I think maybe that was just the design of each person's choice inside the Oasis. Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess that was fine. I don't know, because sometimes you had like really gritty race scenes, and other times the cars were like bubble cars or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it was. I don't know. Maybe
It's
it's
up to people what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's the point.
And
of
I
it,
think the contrast was a little bit difficult sometimes, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Where you have a
maybe,
high detail vehicle or
Yeah.
something, and then it looks.
But then-
I love the alien scene. So when
The chest burster thing.
yeah, that was
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, there were some real pure horror moments in this
Yeah,
film.
I was
Yeah.
like, Yeah.
I genuinely think that in years to come, it's gonna become a cult classic. I don't think it will make $1 billion, but I hope it does really, really well, and it will be a perfect wet weekend. It's pouring down outside. Let's just stick a film on. What's on? Oh, let's watch Ready Player One. That'll be fun.
I think it'll be
because it switch your brain off for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just enjoy yourself.
Christmas
you're
film.
probably right.
It's got written all over.
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
Day film.
yeah.
Definitely.
I think I just want to one final point on what I was saying about the effects thing, about how you're saying it was jarring. I probably wouldn't have been happy the other way around either if it was hyper realistic.
Yeah.
I would have not been happy either way. I think maybe it's just that my own
I just got used to it.
preferences- Yeah,
After
exactly.
a while,
you
I got
get
used to
it.
it. I just was a bit sort of like,
Yeah.
oh, this is too detailed. No, it's not good enough. Then brain
Yeah.
kind of just
Adjusted.
just got desensitized.
Yeah. I think maybe
good. Very
it's
good.
the sort of film that I probably should have had a very large Diet Coke and a big packet of like fizzy sweets beforehand, and I wouldn't have cared anywhere near as much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think you went in expecting to be blown away, whereas I think
No, I
James
didn't.
and I went in expecting to be entertained.
I actually
And we
didn't think
were.
I was going to enjoy it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Oh, okay. Shall we give it a final review then before I do some listener feedback?
It
or
was
have we got anything else?
Yeah, it was totally fine.
It was totally fine. What do you reckon?
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I'm going to say it is 7 Oasis avatars out of 10 IOI X1 suits.
Oh, I'm not going to give it anything like that.
No, I didn't think you would.
Yeah.
What number would you give
I
it?
don't give it a number.
He
It
gives
was
it a
fine.
fine.
It was
Gives
fine.
it a fine.
It was fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
You give it your range, James, whatever you want.
I was gonna say I'll give it a 7. A solid 7.
Solid 7 out of 15?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Just
Yeah.
checking. Just
Yeah,
checking.
so-
Good. I think we've
So-
reviewed and scored it.
Right, give us 3 feedbacks.
3?
3.
Just 3?
Just 3.
Okay. Well, I'll try and mix up the 3. Jim Bob Squarepants, which is our friend at Vintage GT.
I
That's
love
brilliant.
Jim. He's so good.
He's great. He's
That's
a
cool.
good guy. He's been with us for a long time. He said, early contender for film of the year for me, out-frickin'-standing.
Which is weird because Jim and I
Hashtag
normally agree on stuff.
Ready Player One, and then 3 clapping emojis.
Wow.
So there you go. Now, in contrast to that, Matt Young
Yeah.
at MyOhMy Design. Now, I should say, separate the art from the artist. So if you really like the film, we also want you to use Matt Young.
Matt Young's allowed an
At
opinion,
MyOhMy
it's
Design,
fine.
He's allowed an opinion. He said, this is so far removed from how great the book is. All the contemporary references and complete change of story was just so bad. The book was one of the best 80s nostalgia books that I've read, and it just felt like it was written for me. This was just meh. Ready Player One, book, thumbs up. Film, thumbs down.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to do 2 more because that's how I roll.
Yeah, sure.
Neo Bryce, which is at Bossman69. Oh, by the way, that's a bit I wanted to say. Who the hell doesn't remember their password when it's Bossman69?
Yeah,
A
but-
corporate person who doesn't play video games. People, you work in IT, people have their
Yeah, I really like that
passwords.
bit. I
Yeah,
thought it was good.
I thought it was
'Cause
good as well.
It's high-powered people are sometimes stupid.
Yeah, it highlighted that he was.
Sometimes stupid.
It highlighted that he
I
was
don't want
not
to generalise
a
here, Benjamin.
user of
I'll stop calling you
IT.
Benjamin,
Good
sorry.
point. Anyway, Neo said, I loved it, but I could see why other people won't. It's one of those movies where you have to see it and decide for yourself. That's a good point. I
Yep.
agree. But it was a fairly great watch and encapsulates what the book is about. I think Spielberg and the team really pulled it off.
Okay.
And finally, X-Geeks, which is at X-Geek, they said, some good things, some bad things. Enjoyable surprise in the middle. Flipped between a 12A and a PG film very awkwardly. Didn't feel epic enough at times. The world, in parentheses, worlds, felt very small and limited. Simon Pegg's role was pointless. Mark Rylance, wonderfully sublime. And that was from Rich, from X-Geeks. So I think that's too good, too middling to bad.
Yeah.
There we go. And I want to say thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you to Nerds Who Gets Laid, Gen X Grown Up, Earth 919 Podcast, 20th Century Geek Pod, Doug, James Carroll, Christopher Price, Neil McCulloch, The Monster Closet, for all those guys who tweeted and replied to us. Thank you.
Thank
Sorry
you
we
very
couldn't
much.
read you all out. But Nate's a bad man.
I'm a timekeeping ass.
Timekeeping Boss Man 69.
I think that's the end of the podcast, people.
Is it? Are
Yeah,
we done?
we're done. Yeah.
Wow.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know yet.
Are we? No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not Lost in Space, is it?
No, it's the week after. Yeah.
Ah.
Where can people find us, Ben?
They can find us on, if they just search for Nerdschatting on Google or on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube. They can also email us, nerdschatting@outlook.com. Check out our blog site, which is nerdschatting.com. We've put, I just did a couple of little updates to that yesterday. I've also got a little merch sign up there as well. If you want to buy a t-shirt of our face on it, go ahead. They are designed by Matt Young, the wonderful MyOhMy Design. We're going to run a competition, which you'll find some more out on our social media channels in the next couple of days, to win a t-shirt, a pop vinyl, a mini pop, and some badges and key rings for our Infinity War giveaway, which we'll announce the winner on our Infinity War podcast, which will be at the end of April.
Yes.
Infinity War review podcast. And yeah, look out for that on social media in the coming weeks. And I think that's it. I think I've done it.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. My name is Nate, and this has been Ben and James.
Toodle pip.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.